Hello everyone, Vittorio here from Botsociety, and today we're gonna see another Botsociety tutorial. Specifically, I'm gonna talk about how to export to Excel your Botsociety design. So I will be talking about Microsoft Excel, but of course you can use the same file with Google Sheets or any other spreadsheet like numbers for Apple. You will have basically this CSV file, and this is interesting because it contains all the information of your design that you can then give it to your developers, use in any other way. It's a very handy format that basically everyone accepts. And then I'm gonna show you how to do the other way around, so how to import intents and entities that maybe you already have in CSV or Excel format back into Botsociety. So this tutorial is divided in these parts. You can check out the chapters there. So let's jump into it. So this is my Botsociety design. I already designed kind of a pretty huge design to show you how powerful this is. If you are not sure about how to create a Botsociety design, check out the link that is going to appear now, or check out the links in the description. I'm not going to go through it now, kind of a separate topic, how to use Botsociety in general. I just want to focus on Excel export, but definitely check that out if you're not sure how to design. Okay, so once I'm here, this is my design mode. So here on the left, you can see that there are different modes. So the first one is edit. The second one is prototype. This allows you to test your design with humans, real users, before it's actually built. So it's interesting. It's the topic of yet another video. So if you're interested in that, check the links in the description. And then the third one, which is the one I want to talk about, is the build mode. Now, everything I'm going to show to you today, you can find it in the description. Like if you're looking for this design file that I'm using for this demo, check out the link in the description. You'll be able to create a copy of your own, so you can also use this directly. Okay, so how to export to Excel? Well, first, let's switch to design mode. So I'm going to go here on the left and then click on build mode. So I'm leaving design mode, switching to build mode, and now you will see that I have different options. So the first one here is Dialogflow. We also support export to Dialogflow. You guessed it, yet another video if you're interested in that. And then Rasa, what I'm interested in today is this option here, export CSV. Now, why is export CSV here in the build mode? The reason is that I'm gonna export not only the content of my conversation, but also this additional data that you can set up in the build mode. So for example, in the build mode, you can define the intents. So the intents are a way for your natural language processing engine that governs your bot to figure out what to say next. So let's say the user says, in this case, hey, this product available for curbside pickup? Then the way it works is that your bot will try to figure out what's the intent of the user based on the phrases that you gave it. So for example, in this case, this is my curbside pickup question intent. So let me rename it. I can go here in new path intent tree and rename it. I'm gonna press enter. Boom, this is renamed. So now you can see that the intent is renamed and all the messages are marked as such. And this will allow my natural language processing engine to say, okay, if the user says something along the lines of, is this product available for curbside pickup? Then that's how the conversation should proceed as an idea. So it's interesting to export this stuff because it allows you to have a more powerful handoff to your engineers. Or you can use this stuff to, I don't know, like double check the content, share it with your legal team, what you prefer. And so you can do that here, so you can change all the intents. Another thing that you can do is the entities. So the entities are parts of the conversation that change depending on what the user is saying. So for example, in this interaction here, I have, not here actually, let me navigate a little bit. I have a case where I'm asking, here we go, I can see it from afar. I have a case where I'm asking the user, what's your name? That, of course, in my design, it's saying Dylan, but here you see, but of course that changes with every conversation, and that's because it's an entity. So what you can do with Botsociety is that you can select the entity up, and then you can say, okay, this is the phone number. And once you do that, then it's marked up as entity, and you also export this data into Excel. And again, this is interesting because it allows you to be very precise in the way that you're communicating your design to other stakeholders. And so to do that, you just select and you name it. This is not mandatory, by the way. You can export in Excel without defining any intent, without defining any entity. It will just work, but I suggest, that you do it so that you start to have this data inside your design. Okay, we're ready. So now I can click export here, and this will trigger the Excel export. Here we go. So I got it on my computer. Let's open it up and let's see how this looks like. Okay, let me bring it to the right screen here. So this is my Excel export. Let me zoom in a little bit so that you guys can see. How do I? Okay, here it's zoom. All right, so this is my Excel export. Now, let me open up the here. So this is how it looks like. I have my message ID. This is a unique ID that identifies the message. This is useful if you need that for some sort of database or cross-checking with other systems. Then you have the sender. So, the message can be from the bot, can be from a user, it can be from other folks. You have who's sending the message. Then you have the intent. Again, we discussed the intent before. You have it here. Then you have the content. So for example, whatever it's said in the message. Now a couple of notes here. You see that here I made a mistake in the text, and so it's showing up weird. I'm adding emojis and stuff, so pay attention to that. And I'll add more details about how to do that in the description. And then another case that I want to point out is cases like this, where you have the message divided by this vertical divider here. And so what this means is that those are different utterances for the same message. And so what is an utterance? Well, I think we were discussing before about, that's not what I want to show. Okay, we were discussing before about how the natural language processing engine identifies an intent. So for example, for the intent here outside, for this intent here, what is happening here is the bot is introducing himself and then, or itself rather, and then the user It's saying I'm outside for curbside pickup, and it's triggering the coffee pickup intent with that phrase. Now, if you see this number here, those are the other utterances I have for this intent. So those are other ways for the user to express the same intent that I designed into Botsociety. And then those utterances can be used to train your natural language processing engine. And so when you export in Excel, you will find those utterances listed one after the other with just the vertical divider here. So you can reuse them however you want. There's then another, so you see there's some examples here. There's then another column that is called media, and that I didn't upload any image in my design, so I can't show you an example. So let's add an image here. Okay, so I'm adding this image. It doesn't really make sense in this design, but it's just to show you how that looks in the export. Okay, so I've added an image here. So now if I export again, let's check this out. So this is another file that I opened. Let's open this up, zoom again. So view. So you see here I have my media column. Let's wrap this, otherwise it's kind of confusing. So by default, those cells are not wrapped, so let me do that so that they do not go into the next column. It's a little bit clearer to read. Okay, so you see my column here, media, it's empty, but I'm gonna find one message, which is the one, here we go. So here is the message that I uploaded, and if you open this up in a browser, this is the image that I have uploaded in my design. So if you opened it up, it will show up. And this is very useful because again, like, it's a direct reference to the media, so in this case this image that you added to the message. So you have everything to check out. Okay, so this was the Excel export. Let's move on to the next topic, which is Excel import, specifically importing utterances and training phrases in bulk. Okay, so first I'm gonna show you how to import utterances to a message, and then I'm gonna show you how to import intents and entities massively. Those are two different types of import. So the first one is, let's say that you have a message here, you're writing a message from the user side. So for example, like, hello there. And you have also on an Excel format a lot of different utterances for this message. Well, what you can do is you can click here on the utterances button, and that will open this menu, and from here you can choose import CSV. And now you can import the file. You can also check the template. Basically, this is what it looks like. Let me bring it to you here. It's a very simple template. Let me zoom in. Basically, you have every utterance is one different line on an Excel spreadsheet. So it's a very simple way. If your training phrases, if your training phrases are formatted differently, you will need to clean up the file. So I've seen some users that they have, say, a column name here on top. Some other users, they have a lot of other different IDs here that you don't need. Just clean it up, come up with a file that it's something similar to this, one line per utterance, that's it. So now I have this on my computer, I'm gonna upload it. So back to Botsociety, I'm gonna click on import CSV. And now you can see here my file. I'm going to import it, and boom, you see that it took really very short amount of time. I now have here all of those 18 utterances. So if I click utterances, so if I click add, you will see they're all here. So this is very handy if you're designing a message, you already have the utterances, you just want to upload them quickly into Botsociety, boom, this is a very, very fast way of doing that. Now a different thing is if you have already a lot of intents and utterances and you want to import them in bulk. So instead of importing just utterances inside the structure that you already have, just importing all of the entities and all of the utterances together. So to do that, and show you that, I'm gonna create a new design file just so I don't mess up this design file, which I use for a lot of other stuff. So I'm gonna click here on the menu, File, New, and this is gonna create a new file. I could import it in the other one, but it would just, be a lot of different stuff. So, okay, so from here, I'm just gonna pick WhatsApp. I'm gonna start fresh. Okay, so now I have my design here. Again, it doesn't need to be empty, it can have anything. To start importing, I'll just open the menu here on the top left, and I'm gonna say File, and then Import CSV. Okay, so you can see a template here, you can download it, I'm gonna do it. So this template shows you the structure that your file has to have in order to get imported properly. And here's the file. Let me zoom in a little bit. Okay, now you can see. And so what is the difference here? So here you have the first column are going to be the intent names. So in this example, greetings, goodbye, and longer sentences are intent names. And then here, the following columns, each one of those is going to be, are going to be utterances. And so in this example here, if I upload this file now, which I'm going to do, I will have 3 new intents inside Botsociety that will become paths, and then each of them will have a message on the user side with the following things as utterances. So if you have this data, but it's formatted in a different way, you should adjust your Excel file so that it looks this way. Also, remember to remove, if you have something like on top, if you have something that says like intent and utterances like this, just so you remember, just so you know what you're reading when you're reading the Excel spreadsheet, that's fine, but just remove them before importing it into Botsociety. Because Botsociety expects, a clean file without column names. Okay, so for example, let's upload this one. So I'll go back to Botsociety, I'll click on Import CSV, and I'm gonna select this file. Just want to show you how this looks. So you see that the import is in progress. Now it's finished. It created my paths. Let's zoom out a little bit. You can see each path as the path name as the intent name, so that you don't forget. And then if you take a look at each path, each message, it has all the utterances that I would expect. So this is a very fast and effective way of importing the data that maybe you already have from, say, your CRM, your past experience. You can just import them this way to kickstart your design process. And then this data is going to be carried on, so it's going to be there when you export it back. So, if now I go into build mode and I select export in Dialogflow, Rasa, or Excel, like I've shown you before during this video, you will get back all of this data, all the training phrases and the intents. All right, this was my time today. Please leave any questions if you have them in the comments below. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please like it and share it, and subscribe to the Botsociety channel. We're gonna produce even more tutorials in the future about the new features, so check out the other videos from this channel that will appear here. For now, thank you very much for watching, and keep designing.